Hi, my name is Mary Bellisario, and I'm a solutions engineer at Looker, specifically focused on the retail industry. I'm excited to talk with you today about data-driven innovation for retailers. I'd like to start our discussion today talking about the current climate and how that's going to impact retailers in the future and their approach to data. As many are aware, in the current environment, companies are majorly needing to transform how they do business and their overall strategies. For retailers, this involves how they interact with their consumers. We have some interesting statistics that are coming out during coronavirus, and some that I wanted to share with you today are that since the beginning of coronavirus, at least 55% of US consumers have placed a buy online, pick up in store order. According to Forbes, COVID-19 has accelerated e-commerce growth by 4 to 6 years, meaning that based off previous pre-COVID levels, it would have taken 4 to 6 years to get to this level of e-commerce growth. And as of June, more than 25% of shoppers have bought something online that they would have normally bought in a store. As the pandemic continues and we see these trends continue to shift, especially around shoppers trying new channels like buy online and pick up in store, it becomes clear that data is important more now than ever before. Also, we thought it would be relevant to share how Google is thinking about data and analyzing the current environment. At Google, there's an amazing team of strategists that is looking into behavior and how new consumer trends are emerging. There are 3 main areas of data that we're looking into for this. One is basic Google data. What are people searching? When you go into Google search engine, are you querying what is coronavirus or how to find out what's open? We're also taking into consideration some cultural context, but also speaking directly with consumers via online communities to get additional data points. And there are some interesting findings coming out of this analysis. The first is an understanding of where we're at. And by we, I mean you, me, and shoppers. While things are uncertain, we know more now than we had previously. We've come to accept things like some things are open and some are closed, that we need to wear masks and be more aware of safety. We've found out more about the epidemiology of coronavirus. And basically, we've gone from a period of shock when coronavirus initially began to a period of adjustment. Our thinking has shifted from querying not about what, but also how to, as we start to take action and adapt to these new surroundings. So, why does this even matter? Essentially, there are new habits that are forming that could become permanent. And it's very important for retailers to have access to data and understand what these new habits might be and how that's going to impact consumer behavior. Environmental stress has led to difficulty in maintaining daily routines and caused the consumer's habit loops to be broken. An example of this is that people were going into the office and maybe they stopped at the grocery store on the way home. Now, in this paradigm of working from home, there's a new time and opportunity to find new habits in when you go to the grocery store or how you buy certain products. People are looking for structural patterns that help them make sense of this new reality. And behaviors that once felt novel or good in the short term, such as social virtualization with family and friends, are not really solutions that they're seeing for the longer term. Ultimately, these massive shifts in consumer behaviors require businesses to shift and transform to fill these new needs. And data is really an integral part of that transformation. Let's take an example. Netflix was previously a DVD mail model and shifted over to streaming content. The metrics that the team likely looked at shifted as well. So when you had a DVD-based model, the team was probably more interested in inventory and distribution, whereas for streaming, you're going to be more interested in things like uptime and bandwidth. Ultimately, if a company is using the same metrics before an integral transformation, like we're seeing during the time of coronavirus, it really hasn't transformed in any meaningful way. At Looker, we have focused on understanding how retailers are using data to solve business challenges. This could involve any number of use cases, from merchandising to inventory analysis to marketing strategies to customer behavior. Perhaps no industry more than retail relies on data so much. Data now more than ever is essential in the digital transformation of retailers to address changing consumer behavior. Over the next couple of slides, I'm going to be diving into some of these use cases, as well including some customer stories of how they're using data to transform their business models. So let's start with smart merchandising. What is merchandising even? It includes activities and strategies such as in-store design, affinity analysis, so seeing which products sell better together, as well as the physical and digital marketing of different products to customers. Even before the pandemic, retailers were shifting their strategy around merchandising, given new channels arising. An example of this is that retailers started using third-party sites such as Amazon to sell their products, in addition to their e-commerce platforms and their brick-and-mortar stores. Where some retailers truly shine is in following the customer journey across these various channels and creating a seamless experience for customers no matter where they enter to buy products. Retailers are using data to determine which channels and products are bringing higher value and doubling down on those investments. From a data perspective, this requires an agile environment that allows retailers to have access to data across their various channels. The data has to be real time, and they have to be able to quickly iterate to understand who your shoppers are and how their behaviors are shifting. For example, Looker customer Chubbies is using data to optimize spend on their customers' lifetime value. Overall, customers need to be agile to react to changing consumer behavior and create corresponding merchandising strategies to match this new paradigm. Next, let's dive into customer acquisition and retention strategies. Today, retailers expect personalized communication as well as products tailored to their individual preferences. From a data perspective, you need access to live data to see what people are currently purchasing, but also you need behavioral trends to help make these personalized experiences. Additionally, customer retention is especially important, as retaining existing customers is a more cost-effective strategy than acquiring new ones. Efforts in retaining customers fall into three main categories: customer satisfaction, customer engagement, and customer loyalty. Vivino is a great example of using customer satisfaction in a way that helps improve customer loyalty by the smarter use of data. The company uses data to trace how users rate their wine after receiving a shipment. If there's a negative rating, an alert gets sent to the customer engagement team. A representative immediately follows up with that individual and addresses their concern, and from there they may make a tailor-made offer. These customer retention strategies are especially important and make a huge impact, especially in today's environment with so many retailers vying for consumers' attention and loyalty. The next use case is around shipping and supply chain management. And this is perhaps one of the largest areas of transformation for retailers. Delivery speed, price, and pickup options can all dictate whether a customer buys your product or goes with a competitor. Additionally, for retailers, a key way to save cost is improving storage strategy, analyzing customer demand patterns, and moving supplies faster. This all requires the smarter use of data. Blue Apron relies heavily on data to help them quickly pinpoint the source of any supply chain issue. For example, if they get multiple complaints on recipes that involve carrots, they can quickly trace those carrots back through the supply chain to understand what may have happened to make those customers unhappy. Supply chain not only impacts customer satisfaction, but also your bottom line in terms of the cost that you're spending to move certain merchandise. Finally, I want to discuss retail as a platform. There has been a growing trend in the industry and across other industries of not only utilizing data to sell to customers, but also to partners, vendors, or suppliers. An example could be a retailer's suppliers monitoring needs on a portal. They will have better insight on what orders they need to fulfill, which will then impact and improve your turnaround time as well as your bottom line. Monetizing data should be done according to best practices and must be executed and planned properly. Things to consider include developing a go-to-market strategy, understanding design for the specific user, whether that may be a partner or a vendor or a supplier. You need to take in consideration all privacy and data control regulations. It's imperative that people only see data that they should have access to see. For a vendor, it might just be seeing their specific slice of the pie and no data corresponding to other vendors. Finally, you want to be thoughtful about defining and pricing your offering. This could be something like a freemium model. So for example, maybe all suppliers or vendors get access to base analytic capability to help improve operations. However, for advanced or additional analytic functionality, that would be an additional charge. You should take all of these into consideration, but this is a new revenue stream that we see many across the industry taking advantage of in monetizing their data. So how can retailers execute on all of these data-driven strategies? Well, first, we want to recognize that harnessing data to make real-time decisions can be a challenge. And why is that? First, the volume of data in retail is huge. Second, data is typically fragmented across many different sources and come in many different formats. Finally, the data is time sensitive, so it might lose value over time. Getting real-time insights is very important for retailers. Legacy tools typically lack new business intelligence and machine learning capabilities that are available in today's market, limiting retailers. All this leads to making it harder for retailers to use data to meet business decisions and accurately and faster. So how do we begin to solve all of these different data problems? Well, seeing a holistic picture of your data across many different sources and channels is imperative to tracking new consumer behavior and identifying operational efficiencies. By having your data centralized, you can remove the silos and ensure you're looking at all your data that you need to connect the dots and make impactful decisions. Also, you need a platform that can execute quickly and handle different data structures. BigQuery is a modern data warehouse that provides you with a no-ops serverless platform. Hopefully, this is going to free your team up from any data engineering firefighting that they've had to do in the past. Additionally, BigQuery can handle exceptionally large volumes of data that your organization continues to accrue as you get more information about new consumer behavior, as well as the myriad types of data, whether it's nested, flattened, or giant. Another challenge to solve in creating a modern data ecosystem is providing a means to consume and deliver data in a context that you need to see it. At Looker, we call this contextualized view or delivery of the data experiences. So, for example, a store manager might just need to see a dashboard of their store operations. However, you have a marketing manager, and maybe they want to experience the data integrated into the marketing platform that they typically work in. This example could be embedding analytics or different data points into a platform like Marketo to get richer insights on your customer as you run different marketing campaigns. A supply manager would want a completely different experience, such as an automated data-driven workflow. An example of this is automatically tracking inventory levels to see if a best-selling item goes below a certain stock threshold, trigger to tell the supply manager to get more inventory. You can utilize Looker not only to get access to the truest and most up-to-date version of the data, but also to design these different data experiences to ensure that people and systems get data delivered in the way that they need to see it. We believe that dashboarding is just one piece of a data experience and a small slice of a company's data strategy. We see retail companies working with data in very innovative ways, integrating it to every part of their business in ways that go way beyond reports and dashboards. And as we've discussed, many retailers are already innovating on different data-driven strategies and creating these different data experiences to address the ever-changing environment we see ourselves in today. These are the leaders that are putting data at the forefront to address commonly seen problems experienced by retailers. Overall, the data ecosystem in retail has changed over the past 20 years. We believe a modern data ecosystem combines centralized data and governed data experiences that will solve for current day retail challenges. I want to thank you for spending your time with me today and look forward to seeing you in the future.